Pareto Consulting is a growth consulting firm helping startups and MSMEs execute top-notch end-to-end marketing campaigns from market research to content marketing. Bianca Ulan is founder and CEO at Pareto Consulting. So hello Bianca, we're very happy to have you dito sa Startup Podcast.
Thanks, Jenny, for inviting me, and many thanks also for the listeners of this podcast.
Yes, I'm very happy kasi last time we actually had a client of Pareto dito sa podcast, and now we have Pareto Consulting kasi Pareto rin naman is a startup that's actually helping other startups parang increase their range, their visibility. Pero let's start with a question, Bianca. So ano nga ba ang Pareto Consulting?
Okay, so technically we call Pareto Consulting as a growth consulting firm. So pag sinabi natin growth, everything about growth starts with market research, understanding your customers, building your product from scratch, and of course, marketing it in a way na makakatipid yung startups. So yun talaga yung goal namin, no? Maximize whatever we can to actually help our startup clients grow and scale to the next level.
Yeah, actually that's nice parang maximize the output, minimize the input, maximize the market, maximize the reach, minimize kumbaga the resources invested. I think that's nice, especially ang inyong target ay mga startups and MSMEs na medyo nagtitipid, medyo resourceful pa sa budget. Pero I'd like to ask muna, what do we mean by growth? What do we mean by end-to-end growth consulting, end-to-end marketing campaign? I mean, you mentioned na may nag-start sa market research and you also create content for them. So, kumbaga, what's this whole journey kumbaga that you help guide the startups and MSMEs?
Okay, usually depending siya per client. No? So may mga clients na tipong they've done their research already, alam na talaga nila kung ano yung next steps, and they just need a partner in terms of execution, which again combines yung quality, agility, and affordability that is required. So we offer that end-to-end type of content marketing. I think some example of this is one of our clients for Smile API, which was part of the podcast before also. So yun talaga parang tipong they don't have to pay us anything extra. We'll just go the extra mile to actually secure some brand awareness initiatives for them, some partnerships for them. And in fact, hindi yun nakasulat sa kontrata. Talagang kami lang. Gusto namin mag-extra mile for Smile API, for startups without being too rigid with the contract, because we all know that startups naman change their priorities from time to time, change their OKRs from time to time. So kami rin dapat magiging flexible from there. But there are some startups that we've worked with talagang from scratch. Wala silang alam about the market. Wala silang alam about securing funding or even manpower or even operationalizing. So we really help them from day zero up until day infinity. And we do that with flexibility, agility, and without questions asked, without negotiations on contract. That's why we're really very startup friendly in a way.
Yes, so parang partner talaga, parang growth partner. Kasi usually startups, nga nag-start ang startup as a tech founder that kumbaga, ang alam basically is in tech, tas wala pa nga yung business side. So usually, tech founder starts parang yung business side, and kayo naman enters as a partner for growth, for marketing, for maybe increasing visibility, increasing possible mga customers, increasing basically brand awareness as you said. Pero I'd like to ask about market research. I mean, what do you mean by market research? And then kumbaga parang ano exactly yung picture after, I mean, do you, for example, let's say for Smile or for any other startup that you've partnered with, how do you formulate the plan? Do you research? Do you find anong demographics ng possible customers, possible kumbaga market nung startup, and then basically can you parang paint the picture for us?
Sure, okay. For context, market research is a very expensive service. If you are familiar with like top market research agencies in the Philippines and even globally, sobrang mahal nila magpresyo. Like millions of pesos, no? In even millions of dollars. But for us, we do it in a way that is startup friendly. So how do we do it, no? So usually ang market research ko statistics lang pag-uusapan natin. Meron niyang qualitative side and quantitative side. Siyempre papasok dyan yung mga competitor analysis, user analysis, etc., etc. In a way, we're able to create a package that is affordable for startups, in understanding their customers. So let's say, kami na mismo ang magre-recruit ng users to interview. Kami na mismo ang magre-recruit ng mga respondents para sa survey, para makamura sila. Okay? Kami na rin magde-design ng questionnaires, magsisynthesize, we'll create presentations that they can use for their pitch decks, or even for just internal decision-making, kami na yon, no? And even for competitor analysis, we try to do, we kind of use this digital sophisticated tools to really mine ano yung ginagawa ng competitor nila, saan sila pwedeng matuto, ano yung pwede nilang i-replicate, or in fact, what can they do better? So, it encompasses a lot of stuff. Especially kung starting entrepreneur ka, parang, teka, sino ba yung competitor ko? Sino ba yung user ko? So, all of those all of those questions are answered to the most affordable option there is. So, if let's say, kailangan namin pumunta ng mall, magtanong kami doon, mag-ambush interview kami doon, nagawa na namin yun dyan. Talaga tumambay kami sa mall, nagbilang kami. Nagbilang kami ng foot traffic dyan or kung ano man, right? So it's very flexible enough as long as ma-validate whatever yung hypothesis ng aming clients, or even just overall validation of the market. That's something that we can do using various tools rin.
Yeah, Pareto is actually a very exciting term for me. Later, let's dig deeper dyan. Pero do you formulate like this hypothesis, this plan, this marketing plan in partnership rin talaga closely with the client? Like for example, with Smile API nga. So, kumbaga you formulate it together. Is that right?
Yes, closely collaborating talaga. I personally attend workshops for my clients. So, kung meron silang kunwari, business model canvas workshop, product workshop, talagang uma-attend kami. Kung sino man yung assigned, no? So, we're not like yung typical agency na, sabihin mo lang sa amin kung ano yung gagawin, tapos execute na lang, no? So, sometimes we have a say on it. They're very open. That's pretty much, Johnny, we're very picky with our clients too. We want clients who listens, who actually is open to new ideas. Kasi minsan, ang mga founders very, how do I call this? Very invested dun sa idea. Na sometimes they don't want to pivot anymore. And we are coming with data-backed research or data-backed ideas na which we can say to the founder na, hey founder, baka ito yung gusto mong i-enhance with your product kasi ito yung gusto ng users mo, rather than becoming too invested with what you think with what you think about the initial idea when you set it up.
Yeah, that's why you partner talaga na. Parang you become part of the team nga of the startup din. Pero end-to-end ang inyong service, and actually you're more than a digital marketing agency. You're actually a growth consulting firm. So medyo may boundaries doon. Kasi you have this extra mile. You do this. Kumbaga you take another step forward. Pero you also do like the social media management, is that right? Content creation for them. Kayo din ba maybe nag-handle lang ng Facebook accounts, ng LinkedIn accounts ng mga inyong clients? May ganun din mga aspeto dito?
Yes. For some of our clients, kami rin nag-handle talaga ng social media. Even kung kailangan nila ng influencer coordination, or even yung mga ganito, no? Yung papa-invite namin sila sa mga podcast, mangungulit talaga kami ng mga top podcasts out there just so they can get that brand awareness that they need.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Can I just know lang a bit of maybe the client? So one of the startup clients of Pareto is Smile. Pero can we just know like others, and maybe how do you get them? Saan industry sila nangagaling? And is startups and MSME is really your niche, or parang do you also serve like maybe larger companies, larger enterprises?
We don't have any large, I would say at this point. Everything is startup. I would say based on our client portfolio right now, 50% of them would be in fintech.
Oh, wow.
So the other 50% kasi in other technology sectors rin naman. So I have we have a client, let's say in the AI industry. We also have a client in the Web3 industry. So very new nga to sa amin na. Kasi we haven't really handled anything about NFT, crypto, DeFi, and stuff like that. So medyo kakaiba sila. Although what I can say, 100% of our clients are really in tech. So yun talaga yung expertise namin, tech startup. So from time to time, we also support MSMEs. So recently, may sinuportahan kami on a pitch deck for a salon. Ganong bagay. And very affordably rin na approach there.
And just to highlight, maybe baka may nakikinigan na startup founders ngayon no, na interested looking for like a marketing partner, a growth partner. Kumbaga, what really sets you apart from other, maybe kasama na natin, digital marketing agencies or like other consulting firms na medyo similar yung service? Kasi you've mentioned affordability na parang talagang resourceful kayo when it comes to, maybe strategic din, when it comes to increasing, kumbaga, reaching people. So, what really, kumbaga, differentiates Pareto Consulting from all the other competitors maybe out there?
Sure. Actually, I won't talk about expertise anymore kasi I think every agency has an expertise naman. Any startup who hires an agency, for sure expert yan. For sure may results yan. No? Ang magiging competitive edge ng Pareto, which I haven't seen in any other agencies, is yung aming obsession. Okay? And that obsession is only cultivated sa culture ng company.
True,
okay?
Actually,
Hindi
yeah.
ako nag-hire ng...
Actually.
Yeah, right? Like, hindi ka... Kumbaga, it takes a lot of training. It takes a lot of culture management within a company to make sure that your employees are as obsessed as the startup founder through their customers rin nila. Parang kami, sobrang obsessed na nga namin sa clients namin. For sure, yung founders, obsessed naman sa customer nila. Kami, double obsession. Obsessed kami dun sa client, obsessed din kami dun sa customer ng client. So I think it's about the customer obsession. Parang inception na siya ng obsession. Hindi ka nag-end sa client obsession. You will also need to be obsessed with their customers at the end.
But that's a very interesting concept, yung culture actually. For me, sa lahat naman ng interview ko, I believe that culture really starts with the founder, with maybe the CEO and the main founder. And then through hiring, you hire the people you can work with, you hire the people that, kumbaga, masusustain yung culture. And eventually, itong culture na to, nag-reflect ito sa work, and nag-reflect ito doon sa resulta na nade-deliver sa mga clients. Pero, I'd like to ask you, Bianca, as the founder na, kumbaga, sa iyo nanggaling yung culture Saan nanggaling itong, I mean, can you just know like some backstory, some background? I mean, why do you have this obsession? And in the first place, why did you start Pareto Consulting? I mean, it's not easy for Filipinos to just jump in and start a business or specifically an agency. So how did it all start and parang what's in it inside you, kumbaga?
Sure thing. Bale, very, very interesting point ha. So, ako kasi, meron talaga akong strong work ethic. So, hindi naman ako nagnegosyo agad. Meron talaga akong corporate work before. So, pagka fresh grad, ayan, nag-work ka pa rin, gano'n. So, what I, at least what I remember from my past, is I really have a good work ethic. So, ako yung tipo ng empleyado na never nalilate. And I sometimes don't clock out early. Yung tipong yung tipong ako pa yung maghahanap ng trabaho, yung maghahanap or mag-i-initiate ng bagong project na kaya natin gawin. Parang hindi to okay, no? So, medyo in a way pabibo aspect of mine as a fresh grad, no? Ano. And basically, I think yun yung first cultural standard that I had. Before hiring, I make sure that whoever I hire has a really strong work ethic. Kasi if disciplined enough yung tao, no, kaya yan turuan ng different skills and then kaya pa ma-embed sa kanya yung culture na I want, right? And personally naman, from my corporate work, I learned a lot from there. I got a lot of connections. I became part of a market research agency pala. That's my first work. And then second work, nag-fintech startup ako eh. So, and then I jumped to freelancing. So, nag-freelance ako, yun ang aking, kumbaga, first entrepreneurial thing, I guess. Pero one-woman show lang.
Freelance na, what do you do exactly as a freelancer then?
Freelance market researcher muna. Kasi yun na talaga yung forte ko. And then, during the pandemic, so ang dami kong time. Ayan. Nag-training ako by myself. So I'm a self-taught digital marketer. So nag-train ako ng mga digital marketing certifications from HubSpot, Google, Meta. So halo-halo na. And there was a point in my life wherein I was working 80 hours per week. Kasi ako lang
Wow, 80
mag-isa.
hours per week.
So sobrang OA mag-work, no? Na-realize ko na, okay, I need to hire an assistant. So I hired my first assistant, and up until now, she's still with me at Pareto. And she's my creative director now. So yun na siya. And of course, we had to kind of structure the company kasi parang na-realize namin na kailangan pala kami. Hindi pala, alam mo yun, nung una kasi freelance lang, racket-racket lang. Tapos na-realize namin na, kailangan pala kami. So, we need to set up a company na, we need to hire more people, train more people. And that's how Pareto Consulting was, I guess, birthed. So, it was an accidental journey. It's not something that I planned na, gagawa ko ng agency para yumaman. No? So, hindi siya ganun. It's just me saying yes to every opportunity, I guess, in the first place. Parang, kasi as a freelancer, parang dapat lagi kang merong client eh. Nung hindi ko na kinaya, yung parang, kailangan ko nang magpahinga, kailangan mag 40 hours na lang ako.
Yeah.
Saka ako nag-hire.
But I have to, I mean, that's a very good story, kasi we have to differentiate. Some people think that nagsisimula ka sa negosyo because you really want to start this business. You really want yun nga to be rich. Pero sometimes nangyayari lang yung mga yan when you go with the flow, diba? So like you started as a freelancer and then you actually want to make it sustainable. You want to make it sustainable for you na hindi ka na overwork. Sakto lang yung work mo and then may team ka. And then na-deliver yung same kind of service, maybe yung same kind of work for this client. That's a really good story, na parang not to say it's accidental, pero kumbaga you went with the flow and you found you're now where you are. I'm just curious about the name. Why did you choose the name Pareto?
Actually, inspired kasi ako by the Pareto principle, 80-20 rule. And I think na-discuss mo siya in a bit earlier eh. Yung parang from little inputs, you maximize the outputs. Yun talaga siya. And core delivery ko rin siya for my clients. Sa tipong nagtitipid ka, sige, we'll do what we can with the minimum input, but at least maximize the impact from that. So yun yung core delivery kay client. But also internally, that's something, the 80-20 rule is a culture that we actually embed. So what do we mean by that? So a lot of people right now, let's say, are emotional. Pero yung tipong natitrigger agad, like, oh my God, I made a mistake, ganito, So for like 5 minutes of dwelling in the mistake, maapektuhan na yung araw. So what I just tell my employees is, okay, let's go back to the basics, 80-20 rule. Ito pang 5 minutes of mistake mo, makaapekto ba to sa 5 years of your life? Hindi naman, di ba? So di ba? You try to rationalize it using the very same principle, both from a business side and also from like an individual mindset side of things.
Yeah, actually, I mean, the name itself actually ay nag-hold pala ng culture, kumbaga, na that you try to instill with your team members, and kumbaga yun yung nagiging expectations sa serbisyo na na-deliver ni Pareto Consulting. I like that. I actually very like that term. I mean, Pareto is actually like, it comes from statistics, the 80-20 rule nga, that 80% of output comes from only the 20% of, I mean, actually, mas malalim yung pinanggalingan niya, pero we can put it at that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to ask naman about the team. It's actually very unique. And it's actually very surprising when I did my research sa Pareto Consulting, that all women or all female ang team ninyo. So, sadya ba to, or nangyari, go with the flow din ba to, or can you just explain paano rin nabuo yung team na all female?
Deliberate, di siya sinadya. Because during the first few runs, we've hired males rin naman. So nagkataon lang, possibly not culture fit or di nagtagal, no? But like currently, we're still all female and very young, I would say. And
Gen Z.
and in a way, like when we've done our research as well on what's the best market researcher, usually females talaga. So interesting point kasi, mahirap hindian ang females kapag nag-ambush interview ka. So medyo nahihiya yung mga tao humindi. Di ko sure kung bakit. But in a way, like females are seen as more approachable, especially when doing on the ground market research. Kaya siguro yun, pinanindigan na rin namin, effective naman eh. But right now, we're an all-female team, and although we're still accepting candidates that are males, wala namang problema doon, no? Nagkataon lang.
And ito, just a question. So if ever nga may nakikinig right now, na startup or MSME who wants to like looking for a growth partner, so how do you pitch yourself to them? I'm really curious then on how you present yourself to them and how you attract them to be your client.
Okay, right now kasi we're not doing any aggressive selling, to be honest. Lahat ng mga new clients namin lately is word of mouth referrals lang.
Wow.
Ng mga clients rin namin.
Actually the best.
Yeah,
word of mouth is the best marketing.
Never akong nag-spend ng advertising for Pareto. Hindi ako nag-Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, or whatever. Wala. Lahat yan organic, word of mouth lang talaga. Nagustuhan ng isang client, i-refer kami sa kapwa-entrepreneur niya, which really speaks volumes kung anong quality na ginagawa namin. No? Although in terms of pitching, we're also not aggressively selling. So what do we mean by that? I usually jump on a call with a founder. I always ask, ano ba yung mga problems na encounter mo? At what stage ka na ba? And then I try to see, okay, saan ba mag-fit si Pareto? If I think yung founder, yung problem niya is something that we cannot fix, let's say it's a product problem, dev problem, I will be, blunt with him or her saying na, baka hindi pa kami yung partner for that. Baka you want to explore this person. So pag-endorse na lang ako ng kakilala ko. Kasi at the end of the day, if you're really obsessed with the client, diba, it's not about parang pinipilit ko yung services namin. It's about ano ba yung best na makakatulong sa taong to, sa founder na to. Right? And if it's not us, then so be it. Maybe you can keep us at the back of your heads, and whenever you're ready, we'll be here naman. So that's how we do it. More on like needs analysis and then making sure lang na fit kami sa kanila.
Yeah, that's very amazing then kasi it's really genuine. I think that's the right word for it. It's really genuine growth partnership, growth consulting. Can I just know some numbers lang like right now, gaano na karami yung naging clients kumbaga ni Pareto Consulting?
Oh, okay. So overall, if I'm not mistaken, we've at least serviced 60 clients na. And we're already 3 years in the market.
Wow, ang dami actually.
But just a caveat there, kasi marami rin kaming project-based lang. Since pag market research, usually per project lang siya. Although right now, we have retainer clients naman, and it's 12 and counting. So to be honest, natatakot na nga ako magdagdag minsan, no? So we're really making sure kasi. Oh, right now, I have 7 core team members lang. And the rest part-time lang. Like let's say we need a part-time writer, part-time graphic designer. The brains will still come from the 7 core team members na full-time. So,
and right now you're the CEO, no? So do you still do like the market, the on-the-ground marketing work, or you basically like do the management of the team? I mean, do you still, kasi you started as a freelancer, you started doing it by yourself, diba? Parang really doing this work for the client. Pero right now, you have a team that you're also managing, you're also leading. So, like, maybe anong percent ng iyong time din yung napupunta dun sa, as a CEO really, na you have to, kumbaga, build the organization, and yung part na parang actually doing this marketing research, this marketing work. Curious lang.
Actually, management na lang ako ngayon eh. Because ang cultural implication ko rin kasi is I want to empower my core team members to actually strategically plan yung mga workload rin nila, no? So in a way, ando na lang ako sa strategy and directional, and sometimes financial na Parang, kailangan mo ng budget? Okay, sige, magpa-budget proposal ka, approve ko na lang. So, na lang ako sa ganong, I guess, position. But still, most of my time is spent on talking to the clients. Because I need to be on calls with them. Make sure na aligned din yung mga tao ko. So more so on that na lang. I don't do on the ground na. Though I visit sometimes. Check ko lang, buhay pa ba yung empleyado kong to? Baka gutom na, no? Ganun na lang.
Yeah, but this is a very interesting conversation kasi I actually know some people who are like freelancing digital marketers or freelance market researchers na they're trying to build their own company. But here's the actual story. Here's the actual, kumbaga you've done it, Bianca. Ito ang patunay na pwede mangyari yun at kayang gawin yun ng mga Pilipino. Just another question I'm very curious about. So you mentioned na nag-start ito sa parang exploratory call, di ba? Marami ba yung kumbaga hindi natutuloy? I'm just curious about that. Yung hindi natutuloy because hindi pala kumbaga iba pala yung problema nila. I mean, I just want to know about that.
Marami rin. Because maybe on average I get 5 exploratory calls per week, no? And it's not every time na I close them. Kasi because number one, probably hindi kami fit. So baka iba yung culture rin nila internally. Second,
problem.
Yung problem, or yung second, yung budget din. So kahit affordable kami, meron pa rin silang, alam mo yun, baka isingit na lang nila in-house, yan. But only maybe 1 out of 10, close ko siya, no? And that's perfectly okay. That's perfectly okay on my end. It's a good number. And to be honest, Johnny, we're not in the stage wherein gusto namin volume. Gusto namin quantity. Where we're now focusing on like quality clients, yung mga tipong i-obsess na lang namin sila. Kasi if a client actually grows, I mean, imagine if mag-IPO one of our clients and then, we're built for life as well. So like, in a way, just obsessed in a very specific target number of clients, grow them to the best of our ability. And, whatever their success is our success rin naman, for sure.
That's a very nice approach, no? Kumbaga, Pareto rin. You really choose, kumbaga, yung maybe the optimal partners, the optimal clients that you can serve. This is a really wonderful conversation, Bianca. Especially salamat sa pag-share ng mga information na actually makakatulong sa baka may nakikinig ng mga freelancers. Sa iyong buong journey from working in the corporate, being a freelancer, and now leading Pareto Consulting, what's the greatest lesson you have learned na maaaring ma-share mo sa mga nakikinig? Parang maybe business lesson, startup lesson, entrepreneurial lesson. So, just some advice, kumbaga.
Grabe, parang Miss Universe ang question.
Siyempre.
For sure. So, the greatest lesson I would say is show up. Ganun lang kasimple. Imagine, like minsan, it's not every day that a founder is motivated. It's not every day na parang ang saya-saya mo. But at the end of the day, you just need to show up and just hope for the best. Ganun lang. No? Kahit siguro feeling mo lugi ka na, just show up. Ganun lang. No? So, ganun lang siya kasimple. Kasi parang that consistency of showing up will actually pay off. And I think that's something naman na I guess I've kind of proven. Kasi yung pag-show up ko as a freelancer, pag-show up ko as a business owner, that really trickled down to my employees, to my clients, wherein they see me as a reliable partner, they see me as a reliable boss, na parang alam lang nila na, ay, hindi tayo iwan yan. Go lang yan. Ayan.
Wow.
So I guess in a sense, no, just show up. It wouldn't matter if talo ka. At least you have shown up.
That's actually a very good trait, especially for a leader. I think many people underestimate the importance na just being there, just being the figure that your team can rely on. But speaking of that, I also want to ask you, Bianca, what do you think makes yourself, Miss Universe question na naman, what do you think makes yourself like a good, I mean, medyo cliche yung question, pero what possibly is your trait, kumbaga, that makes you a good leader? I mean, just so that other people can, kumbaga, get inspiration from.
Sure. So, as a market researcher, na-develop ko na talaga yung trait of empathy. So, yung empathy, ginagamit ko lang rin yan with my employees. So, I get to know my employees in a deeper level. And what we say deeper level, alam ko kung sino yung boyfriend nila. Alam ko kung meron silang family issue. Parang friends ang turingan, no? You can talk to me about, personal life or even your career goals. Ano pang gusto ng batang to, no, in the future? Anong pinaka-importante sa kanyang factor sa pag-work niya sa Pareto, no? So, by embodying that empathy, I'm able to even personalize kung ano yung magiging development plan ko for every person. So, I'm not the type of leader wherein, okay, mag-webinar tayo ng isang topic, tapos na tayo attend, tapos after ng webinar, makakalimutan na. No? So, it's more so, okay, ano ba yung kailangan ng taong to? Paano ko siya matutulungan? Tapos one-on-one yun. Iba-iba yung pinagdadaanan na training rin ng bawat employee ko, actually. Which is kind of easy because we're a small team. That's why, in a way, I also want to keep it that way.
Yeah, but I have to say na this is actually very applaudable kasi medyo side comment lang. May mga ibang startups kumbaga na they get interns just to have more people kumbaga to work. Pero maganda yung approach na when you get interns or when you get team members, you just don't have them to do the work. I mean, and expect them kumbaga to learn because of doing that work. Ang ganda ng approach na kumbaga you also assign them this work not just to finish the work but also for their personal development. I like that insight. I like that kumbaga that approach of leading that team. And I think it's something that some startups then can pick up on, especially when growing the team. So as a CEO, as a founder, maraming responsibilities eh. I mean, kumbaga, as a CEO, ikaw ang responsible sa lahat ng work. Pero at the end of the day, mahalaga din kumbaga to keep the team members intact and to keep the team members engaged and developing as well. Anyway, let's end the conversation with ano nga ba ang vision ni Pareto Consulting? Maybe you can share like some long-term plans. And I've seen kasi si Pareto Capital. So ganun ka-deep yung pagsuporta ninyo sa mga inyong clients. Tama ba na you also is this some kind of investment then? I mean, how deep kumbaga is your investment or your support nga to this sa inyong mga clients?
Okay. Actually, interesting point. So long-term plan and vision for Pareto Consulting talaga is currently, para lang alam ng ating mga listeners, no? So this is a one-person corporation. So it's 100% owned by me. No? But long-term plan ko, I want it to become employee-owned. So I want the legacy to continue, but not with me in the picture. That's why I empower eh. Kaya that's why parang yung cultural implication rin, parang I want to build my team, core team members as leaders. And maybe in the future sila na bahala, di ba? Ganun, okay lang yun sa. And for Pareto Capital, it's actually a separate, separate project of Pareto Consulting. It's not actually an investment firm for our clients. It's actually my personal investment for other startups and MSMEs. Ano siya, yung mga tipong I invested in, let's say, an aesthetic clinic, in a bedsheet company, mga ganun pa lang kasimple. Okay. So, recently also, we are partnering with another fintech company. So, may itatayo kami fintech company with my name on it. So yung mga ganung bagay na tipong we also want to build a product, or we at least want to also support other startups and MSMEs, if not as an industrial partner, we can support monetary rin naman, as long as of course the balance sheet is good. So ayun, it's fairly a small project still, but it's also one of my long-term plans, I guess, as the CEO, wherein ang service industry kasi very limited ang capital mo, which is man-hours lang. Pero imagine if you can scale it by becoming an investment arm for startups in the Philippines or even MSMEs in the Philippines. Mas marami rin tayong matutulungan. So I believe yun pa rin yung long-term goal. Makatulong pa rin with services or either monetary to more startups.
Yeah, so basically yung magiging holding company rin pala si Pareto Consulting.
Hopefully.
May portfolio. Pero naisip ko lang, that's another thing. Do you think may possibility na sa inyong clients, kumbaga may co-foundership din? Parang you get a certain share of the company. Is it possible? Do you think?
Yes. Meron. Actually,
Ito kasi,
meron na
huwag
kaming
na natin
ibang clients.
okay. Ayoko na sanang
Secret
pag-usapan
na
kasi
lang.
yeah. Pero yeah, naisip ko lang and it's something to think about. Anyway, maraming salamat, Bianca. This is actually a very nice conversation. If our listeners want to know more about Pareto Consulting, maybe they're looking for a growth consulting firm. Maybe they want your services. So how can they find more information? How can they contact you?
Sure thing. So you can just email me at bianca@paretoconsulting.xyz or you can take a look at our website, paretoconsulting.xyz. And wag na rin kayong mahihiya mag-connect sa akin sa LinkedIn. We can chat there and maybe we can share more stories with each other.
Yes, so check out Pareto Consulting and maraming salamat, Bianca, for this conversation. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Danny.
Thank you very much to our 32 patrons. This episode is super powered by TechShake, Asia's most active Philippine-based startup ecosystem builder creating bridges with investors, corporations, and governments. 1 CFO, tech-enabled CFO, bookkeeping, and tax services for startups and SMEs. Take 5 Outdoors, the best guided outdoor adventure tour in the Philippines. They specialize in hiking and mountaineering trips. Benjoy's Food Products, the home of premium bacon ends, tapa, and tocino. D-Buzz, Web3 microblogging app promoting freedom of speech and content ownership. Pinoy IP Works, capture your startup's value proposition through patent and trademark protection. Packetworks, the leading enabler and only Internet of Things social enterprise in the Philippines. Looking for buy and sell online with Sigurado sellers. And NutriCoach, the all-in-one productivity tool for dietitians and nutritionists. This episode is powered by Pareto Consulting, AltSwitch, ePlayment, Tuala, and Hive Energy PH. AskLex PH Academy is our official e-learning partner. Get certifications on Lean Six Sigma, project management, data science, and many more. Support the podcast through the links in the description.